Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and good morning to some of the participants. My name is Sam Tidhar and I am the Netafim Southeast Asia Director. It is a pleasure to have you with us today, and thank you all for joining Netafim Digital Farming webinar. For the ones who don't know, Netafim engaged in developing new digital integrated automation systems, IoT decision support tools for growers in the past 10 years. So in the past decade, the focus and a lot of investment has gone into this space of digital systems and digital tools. In this series of 3 webinars starting today, we will introduce our latest platform called GrowSphere, which combines all the functions mentioned with the goal of simplifying and optimizing the operation of irrigation, fertigation, and monitoring of crops in an integrated way. So today we're starting with session 1, and in session 1 we'll go through the operating system, an overview of the product metrics, sensors, cloud, crop advisor, and the agronomic tools working in the background. Our speaker today is Mr. Avi Stein. Avi is a team leader in the digital farming department in Netafim. He holds a Master of Science in Soil from the Hebrew University. Avi has been with Netafim for 4 years, and all 4 years he has been in the digital department, mainly on the agronomic side of the development of the digital tools. Avi is married with 3 kids, and as he put in his short bio, he has a dog with 3 legs. So you are welcome in the Q&A to ask Avi what happened to the 4th leg of his dog. And if we, on the Q&A topic, you can see on your screen a Q&A box. You are welcome and encouraged to put any question you may have during the presentation and pass it so Avi can attend to the questions in the end of the presentation. So without further ado, I will pass the stage to Mr. Avi Stein. Thank you, Avi.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's a real pleasure. I will share my screen. All right, so as Sam said, today it's the first session of a series of 3 sessions. Today, I will present an overview of the entire GrowSphere family and operating system, touching all the components of the operating system. In the second and third sessions, we will provide a more in-depth view of these products. So today we will start with the introduction of the GrowSphere operating system. Before we start with the GrowSphere, a few words about Netafim. Netafim is today the #1 irrigation company in the world with more than 30% market share. We have more than 110 we have presence in more than 110 countries worldwide and 33 subsidiaries. We have 2 recycling plants and 19 manufacturing plants all over the world, with sales of more than $1.1 billion annually and more than 5,000 employees. And something we take a lot of pride in, Netafim hires today 150 agronomic experts worldwide. So we are not just a drip company. We have your back as a precision irrigation company. And if we look at this nice illustration, you see that we provide not only agronomic support, we also provide the solutions and products from end to end. from the water source all the way to the plant root. So obviously we have the automation and fertigation product line that we will discuss today, but we also have filters, pumps, agro machinery to make your operation easier, water storage solutions. Obviously, we have the wide array of drip lines and sprinklers. So all you have to do in order to precisely manage your irrigation. So when we speak in general about digital farming and agtech solutions, we see that the farming industry is transforming and becoming more data-driven, and growers are gradually adopting more agtech solutions. And if we look at this chart, we see that the adoption rate is still not quite high. We see that in Asia, for example, more or less 9% of the farmers are reporting to use at least one agtech solution, and we see that the global average is only 39%. And when farmers were asked, we understood that two main reasons are holding the adoption of these solutions back. Mainly, it's the unclear ROI, which is a fancy way to say that farmers not always understand what do they get out of these products. And the second thing was the high cost of the technology. Sometimes it's just too expensive. So we understood that the solution of agtech has to clearly show what is the benefit to the grower economics. What do we add to the bottom line of the farmers? And this is exactly what we had in mind when we set out to this journey to develop the GrowSphere. And this is the vision as we wrote it, and we all agree. We want to become the leading supplier of smart yet simple digital farming solutions for irrigation and fertigation management. And we want to do it to all farms, sizes, shapes, and technological capabilities. So we developed the GrowSphere as a seamless synergy between hardware and software. So we have a very sophisticated irrigation controller that can support farms of all sizes, but we also have smaller controllers or very simple and reliable monitoring devices. Of course, all the data is presented in one intuitive platform where you can monitor all your data, see all your reports, get real-time alert notifications, remotely control your operation, and if you wish, also you can get real-time irrigation recommendations. Let's see a short video clip that explains a little bit more about the GrowSphere.
Hi, I want to talk to you about the Irrigation and Fertigation Operating System, or OS for short. Today, everything seems to have an operating system, from your smartphone, smart home, or smart TV. The main job of the OS is to keep things simple. Same thing goes for your irrigation system. GrowSphere OS makes operating and managing your irrigation and fertigation super easy and intuitive. You can control, monitor, validate, and receive real-time recommendations all in one place. GrowSphere joins the dots between the hydraulic, agronomic, and operational spheres so they work really well together. Whether you're a family farm or a big agro business, your irrigation OS makes it simpler to maximize value per acre using fewer resources. GrowSphere is the evolution of Netafim's leadership in precision irrigation, adding digital technologies to help you grow more with less. It's simply the easiest way to get the right irrigation done right.
All right, so it's all about getting the right irrigation done right. And this is exactly what we want to do. We want to close the loop for maximum efficiency and achieve field optimization. So if you look at this illustration and we take it from the top, using the GrowSphere workspace, you can easily plan your irrigation programs. Then you can execute these plans with the various controllers you have in the field and all the devices connected to it, whether it's the pumps, the filters, the valves, or the fertigation machines. Then you can monitor the real-time status, whether it be the agronomic data from various soil sensors or the hydraulic data to make sure that your system is performing as planned. Then you can review all the data in one place in our workspace. You can get recommendations based on our proprietary crop advisor, irrigation recommendation engine, and so forth. So working with GrowSphere will help you make your agribusiness more productive and more profitable. It will help you make more value per hectare by ensuring consistent quality yields and helping you prevent crop damage from under or over irrigating. It will optimize resource usage by providing instant visibility of your irrigation status and providing real-time alerts and help you manage different issues. And it will help you make data-driven decisions. It will provide you peace of mind by preventing, for example, fertilizer overuse, enjoy lower energy costs, and save labor. And it will simplify your operation by providing a single view dashboard of all your most important data. You can work with it offline or remotely if needed. And you can also add features as you go. Because the system was built that way, you don't have to purchase all the components and all the products at day one. You can start by a simple device and add devices, more and more devices as you grow, as you need. GrowSphere was developed so it will fit seamlessly into every stage of the farmer's precision irrigation journey, as we call it. So whether you're completely new to precision irrigation and it's your first season using drip irrigation, you can enjoy GrowSphere. Even if you are using already drip irrigation, but you're working manually today and you are new to automation, GrowSphere also has something to offer to you. And even if you are already an experienced digital farming user, we are confident that GrowSphere has something to offer to you. GrowSphere will also add value to every role on the farm, whether you're the farm manager, and we know you have to process a lot of data in order to know what happens at every point of time, whether you're the agronomist, and you have to have all the data in order to provide the best advice and irrigation recommendation. Whether you're the irrigation manager and you have to know that everything is working according to plan and you're not losing water or time or fertilizers. And also the field teams that we all know that their time is precious and we have to help them to be as efficient as possible. So in the GrowSphere workspace cloud application, we bring all the data in the most intuitive way possible. You can easily set up your farm in just a few steps. You can monitor all your irrigation status in a single view. You can adjust your irrigation programs on the fly. You can monitor all your data in the graphs and set alert and notifications and adjust all the parameters you need in order to perfectly execute the irrigation that you plan to execute. Of course, we have it all in mobile as well. And again, everything you need so we can have, we can do the heavy lifting for you. So as mentioned earlier, we developed the GrowSphere as a blend of hardware and software with many features, both in the field with different devices and on the web platform with many features. So let's go over them one by one to explain in a little bit more details. Let's begin with the Max controller. The GrowSphere Max is our flagship controller. which is the ultimate all-in-one irrigation companion. It will help you manage even the most complex irrigation and fertigation tasks. So it's suitable for the largest farms out there with the most complex irrigation and fertigation needs, but it can also help and benefit smaller farms as well and simple greenhouses. It comes in a lot of shapes and sizes. As you can see here, it comes with or without a screen, with a double door or a single door. And as you can see on the left image, it also fits all our fertigation machines that we also have a very wide range of those machines, from a single channel dosing machines and up to 8 channels, analog valves, very sophisticated fertigation needs. It was also designed to be very intuitive. So even if you have a very complex irrigation room, like we see in this image, with a lot of fertigation channels, 3 pumps, a lot of filters, and mixing valve, you see that all the data is presented very intuitively. You see the real-time data and status of each and every component of your system. If there are alerts, it will pop up instantly, and you can also perform a lot of actions on this intuitive SCADA screen. In the GrowSphere monitoring, we help you monitor your crop and field conditions in one place in real time. You can get irrigation recommendations that are based on your sensor data, and we help you go smoothly from monitoring to irrigation action, because we know it's not about the data. Too much data doesn't mean anything if you don't know what to do with it. So we help you get to the bottom line of what you have to do with your irrigation schedule. The GrowSphere 1 is our standalone monitoring unit. It's a very robust monitoring unit that is also compatible with a very wide range of sensors that we will soon present to you. It's solar powered, so you can install it wherever you want, and it comes with a global SIM card for an easy in-field setup. It integrates with all the sensors you need. We provide it with soil sensors, so you can get real-time insights onto soil moisture levels at different depths and different locations on your field. You can also connect it to plant sensors, so you can track crop health and growth, and easily detect plant stress. It also connects to hydraulic sensors, so you don't have to monitor only your irrigation room or irrigation head. You can also connect it to different hydraulic sensors in different places in your hydraulic network, and you can know in real time what happens in different places in your field. And it can also be connected to weather sensors, so you can get the most accurate data and most site-specific data to irrigate as precise as possible. Let's briefly go over the range of sensors that are compatible with the one. Taking it from the left-hand side, you see the pressure switch, which is a very simple on-off irrigation sensor. You can also connect it to a water meter, so you can know the actual amounts of water applied to different sections of your field, and a rain collector, which is a standalone, very cost-effective sensor. Then we have the Netafim, which is a serial sensor that measures soil moisture and soil temperature at various depths, so you can know the exact movement of water along your profile, along your soil profile, and it comes in different models, all the way from 20 to 120 centimeters, and it measures the soil moistures every 10 or 20 centimeters, depending on the model you chose. And we also have the Wet 150, which is the latest addition to our sensor portfolio, which is a single point sensor that measures both soil moisture and soil salinity, which is very important to accurately manage your fertilizer. We also have, we will have soon, a temperature and humidity sensor to measure infield weather conditions, a pressure sensor that you can install wherever you want on your hydraulic network, again, to ensure that your system is performing as expected. We have the SM150, which is a single point soil moisture sensor. We have the dendrometer, which is a plant sensor that is installed on the trunk of the trees, and it measures the very slight movements of the tree and can detect plant stress due to under irrigation. And we have the Netasense and the tensiometer, which is different models of sensors to measure soil moisture or soil water tension. So this wide array is just to provide an example of how we can help you, whatever your needs are, all in order to precisely irrigate. This is how the graphs will look on the platform. You can see, again, very intuitive. You can play with it, build your own graphs according to your needs and your liking. You can compare the different sensors. And of course, you can save your most favorite graphs, so you don't have to build your graphs every time you log into the system. You have your most viewed graphs available in just a few clicks away. Let's jump to the GrowSphere Crop Advisor. The Crop Advisor is a daily irrigation recommendation engine that we developed in Netafim over a very long period of time, and all to provide you with real-time irrigation recommendations and do less guesswork and more precision. It will provide customized daily irrigation recommendations, which are based on three main things. First of all, the agronomic knowledge of Netafim. All our crop models were built together with our agronomy global unit, and the vast agronomic knowledge that was built in Netafim over more than 50 years. Crop Advisor also uses real-time field conditions from irrigation and weather sensors, and your irrigation system status from real-time status of the valves and the water sensors. And this is how the bottom line works. It looks. We know that scheduling irrigation can be somewhat complicated because it depends on many factors, such as soil type, weather conditions, the crop phenological stage, and many, many more. So we do all the heavy lifting for you, and we provide the bottom line of a very clear schedule of when and how much you should irrigate. Crop Advisor recommendations are proven to perform consistently well on various studies that we did around the world. We field tested it and validated it with in collaboration with leading universities and irrigation institutes, and we have quite a lot real life success stories with people that are already working and using the Crop Advisor. Lately, we also added NDVI satellite images that will help you understand the status of your entire field in just a single view by using satellite images. The satellite images will help you using clear indicators to proactively identify different issues in your field, from fertilizer deficiencies, pest and disease, field variability, plant development, and overall health, vigor, and uniformity of your fields. How does it work? Very briefly, again, it's not an in-depth training of multispectral satellite imaging, but in general, NDVI stands for Normalized Difference Vegetation Index, and it measures the crop health by measuring the reflectant light from the field, or basically how green it is using the satellite images. And basically, green indicates a healthy plant, and red or yellow means a less healthy plant or a stressed plant. And just to wrap it up, let's see a short real-life success story from a big client of ours. I apologize, it's in Portuguese because it's from Brazil, but the subtitles are in English. So enjoy.
Meu nome é William, eu trabalho no Grupo Pagan há 17 anos. Sou gerente responsável pelas propriedades e o principal gestor da irrigação. Hoje a propriedade ela possui 370 hectares em café. Desses 370, apenas 100 hectares são irrigados e fertirrigados. Benefícios que a irrigação subterrânea ou superficial ela atende a nós aqui. Homogeneidade na planta, fertilizantes na hora que a demanda precisa e necessita, crescimento maior de frutos. Com isso, a gente ganha um ganho elevado na qualidade e em peneiras, aumentando a qualidade e diminuindo a litragem para cada saca de café, automaticamente aumentando a produtividade. Nossa média de produtividade antes da irrigação era em torno de 30 a 35 sacas por hectare. Com a irrigação, essa produtividade ela está em torno de 60 a 70 sacas por hectare anos. Desde 2020, o grupo possui ferramentas digitais com parcerias com a Netafim, otimizando custos operacionais, otimizando recursos hídricos. Uma das ferramentas digitais que a gente adquiriu nestes últimos anos foi o GrowSphere, uma ferramenta altamente tecnológica, proporcionando economia, qualidade para a planta e sanidade, proporcionando uma alta qualidade em grãos e bebidas, aumentando o custo do café. O GrowSphere, com todo o seu pacote tecnológico, ele proporciona monitoramento e análise da fazenda. Com o uso da tecnologia, tivemos uma redução considerável no uso de recursos hídricos. Estamos aqui no laboratório, onde são feitas todas as análises dos cafés colhidos das propriedades. Como podemos ver aqui, estou distante da propriedade e toda a gestão dela é feita remotamente, desde a parte de monitoramento, desde a parte de irrigação e fertirrigação. Aqui eu recebo todas as informações, desde alertas e dados climáticos, onde são tomadas todas as decisões, desde um telefone celular, tablet ou computador, de onde quer que eu esteja. O GrowSphere nos fez pensar de uma forma diferente de fazer uma gestão de uma lavoura irrigada.
Karen?
Hi, thank you. Can everyone hear me okay? Can you hear me, Avi?
Yes.
Great. So thank you very much for this insightful presentation, Avi. And we had a lot of questions coming up. So we'll start one by one. The first question for you, Avi, is GrowSphere Max similar to the NMC series?
Yeah, there are a lot of similarities. I wouldn't say they are exactly the same, but most of the features that were available in the NMC are for sure available in the Max as well.
Great. And the next question is about the NDVI satellite image. Is it real time?
The images are coming in every 4 or 5 days, wherever you are over, in the world. We also added a feature of automatically filtering out images taken on cloudy days. Obviously, it makes no sense to present an image of a cloudy field, because the image is actually of the clouds and not of your plants. So we filter them out. But if you don't have clouds, the images will be presented every 5 days.
Okay, thank you. And a follow-up question regarding the NDVI satellite image. Is there a subscription fee?
All right, so the subscription fee for the entire system works that way, that we have a 1 year free of charge, and then prices are set according to the different devices that you have, not according to the farm size. But it will best be to contact your local representative.
Great. And this is actually a right time to say also that following the presentation, we will send out an email that will give everybody a link to find their local representative so they can follow up on that. The next question is the question is, the focus here has been for soil cultivation. Can I assume you also have solutions for hydroponics tomato production in a greenhouse?
Yeah, for sure. Many of the sensors that we have seen, many of the features that we have in the Max controller can also help hydroponic growers to manage their irrigation, for sure.
Okay, the questions keep coming in. That's great. So the next question we have, first of all, a comment. Thank you for the insightful presentation. So great. GrowSphere 1 uses SIM card for the connection. What about GrowSphere Max?
Also, the GrowSphere Max can also use the same global SIM card, but the Max can also be connected to a local Wi-Fi or local LAN connection. So it has this flexibility.
Okay, excellent. And now a question about the topography. So how about on the hilly area? Is it still effective?
Well, it's a very complicated. Well, it's for sure. I will. Let's start from the drippers, right? Netafim holds a very wide range of pressure compensated drippers. So for sure, on this front, we have something to offer. In terms of digital analysis, let's say if you have a hilly topography, you would ask, where should I install my sensors, and how should I analyze the data? I would say for sure install sensors in those extreme places of your field. For example, the most upper side and the most lower side of your field, so you can know what happens in those extreme sides of your field, and get your and come to a decision according to whatever you see on this sensors.
Okay, thanks. Then we have another question coming in from Jason. Hi, Avi. Thanks for a great presentation. Regarding sensor data seen on the workspace, for how long will it stay in the system, the data?
Until you decide you want to stop working with us, but it will stay there.
And is GrowSphere easy to integrate to an existing irrigation infrastructure?
For sure.
Okay. Do you have a timeline of the sensors that are coming soon? Will they be available within the year?
I think I mentioned only one that is in the pipeline, which is the moisture and the temperature and humidity. And yeah, in the upcoming year, it will be introduced. All the other sensors that I mentioned are already available. I will say that we have quite a lot sensors and other devices and more controllers in our pipeline that will be introduced in the future, but the timeline varies.
Okay. Then we have a question. Do we have a demo portal to browse the features of GrowSphere?
Currently, we do not have a demo portal, but we are very generous with providing demo or not demo, or trial account. So again, contact your local representative, and we will set you up with an account.
Great. And then the next question is, does the GrowSphere monitoring, is it a different operating system?
So the system is built that way that you can, for sure, you can purchase and connect all the components into one place, but you don't have to. You don't have to purchase both the controller, the monitoring device, and use the crop advisor in order to enjoy the workspace. Some of our clients are only using monitoring. Some of our clients don't have any hardware device by Netafim, but they are using the workspace to enjoy the crop advisor recommendations. And some have it all or have only the irrigation controller. So you can mix and match and use whatever you want.
Great. Can we utilize the RTU from NetBeat if we change from MCU to GrowSphere?
Yeah, we do provide backward compatibility to many of our legacy products. I don't know which RTU you are referring to, but the Net RTU and the RadioNet are supported. But again, best to contact your local representative and discuss the details. But in general terms, yes, we do provide backward compatibility to all legacy products.
Great. We have a question. I think you answered something similar, but I'll repeat it because it's come in again. Right now, our plantation is not flat. And are there problems in gathering data if the plantation is not flat?
So if it was my field, I would just collect more data. What do we do with it later on? It's a different question. But first, let's have the data. If your fields are very variable, you have different soil types, different heights, different microclimate, you will want to know what happens at every given moment in those fields. Maybe you would come to a conclusion that the difference between the different places are not that big, and you can irrigate it under the same irrigation regime. But first, you have to know. So I would say first monitor, then analyze, then come to a conclusion.
If we use fertigation, do I still need to use physical NPK, dolomite, and animal fertilizer?
It's a tricky question. I would say I would answer on a very general note. Not all fertilizers are compatible for fertigation because not all of them are soluble enough, and it can cause a lot of problems to the drippers and to the filters and to the entire system. So I don't want to answer specifically about the fertilizer that you are using. But I would say carefully check what is the solubility of your fertilizer, and if it is compatible to fertigation. Needless to say, there's a huge variety of fertilizers that are compatible for fertigation, but again, need to specifically check.
Great. Going back to the SIM issue. So instead of a SIM, can we connect to Starlink?
The Max controller can be connected to Starlink via a LAN cable. The one monitoring device cannot be connected to anything but a SIM card. It doesn't have to be the global SIM card that it is provided with. You can work with a local SIM card, but then again, you will have to check with us what it does to the commercial conditions. But technically speaking, the one can work only with a SIM card. The Max can work with Wi-Fi, LAN, or the SIM card. And if you connect it through a LAN cable, it doesn't really matter if the modem is connected to Starlink or any other network.
Okay, and then we have a question about pricing. So is GrowSphere 1 the most affordable way to get started?
Yeah, the monitoring package is our most basic one. But again, regardless of if you are using monitoring or control, whether you have 1 or 100 devices, we still offer a 1 year free of charge. And then we have different packages. But again, it might vary from one territory to another because of a lot of stuff. So best to connect your local representative.
Okay, so that was also a follow-up question. Are the GrowSphere solutions available in the Philippines? And I think it's the same answer.
Yeah.
All right. About the GrowSphere advisor, is it a real human advisor or is it AI?
No, it's not a real human. I would not say it's an AI, but for sure it's not a real human. The crop advisor, what it does basically is it takes into consideration the real-time weather data, and the weather data can come from two sources. If you have a physical weather station in your field, we will incorporate the data and calculate according to it. If you don't have a physical weather station, we do have a virtual weather service, like most of us have today on our smartphones, that based on your location, you can get the weather forecast. But we have a quite different from what you have on your smartphones, because the service we are using is dedicated to agriculture, and it provides us the data that we need for irrigation scheduling. So we take this weather data, we calculate it together with data that was provided beforehand when the farm was set up by you. For example, your soil type, what is your crop, what is your variety, when did the season start. So it's a set of, let's say, 6 or 7 parameters that the user has to provide when setting up the farm or starting the crop advisor season. And then the crop model runs automatically every day at midnight, calculates the actual data coming from the water meters. So if you irrigated more or less, the crop advisor takes it into account. It calculates the various parameters according to the phenological stage and what are the crop requirements. On top of that, the real-time weather data mixes it all up and provides you an automatic recommendation every day at midnight. So you have a schedule that is 2 weeks in advance, but it gets update every day.
Great. Can GrowSphere integrate greenhouses and open fields?
Yes.
Okay, that was a short answer. What is the limitation for the drip line?
That depends. Really, what is the emitter discharge? What is the spacing between the different drippers? It depends on quite a few parameters. Again, please contact your local representative. I would say that Netafim has a very impressive design department, and I'm sure you will get an answer and a product and perhaps maybe a specific design to your needs.
Okay, so now we have a 2-part question. The first part is, for the dosing injectors, do the fertilizer elements, are they mixed in the tank mix? That's the first part of the question.
depends on you. I mean, a lot of people are doing them. Some of the dosing units have a mixing chamber to ensure proper on-the-fly mixing of the different fertilizers from the different tanks. Some users are mixing in the tank to the final solution, and then the dosing machine will only inject what you put in the fertilizer directly into the main line. I think we have something like 16 or 18 different dosing machines with different setups. So it can be either way, and perhaps much more complex.
Okay, so I think that answers the next question, the second half as well. The question is, how does Netafim dosing clear the fertilizer elements from the previous fertigation program to not affect the second fertigation?
Okay, so I'll give just one example. Inside the Max controller, you have a very simple function that I guess I assume it will be presented in the next session next week, but we call it water before, water after, right? So whenever you set up an irrigation program and you connect it to a specific fertilizer recipe, you can determine what is the water after. So you want to, for example, you want the fertilizer injection to stop and then the water to keep on running for 30 minutes, for example, and then you make sure the system is totally clear before the next irrigation program.
Okay, now we have a question about API. Do you have API integration?
Today, what we have is an outbound API that includes the irrigation logs and irrigation accumulation logs. These are the two sets of data that we allow export through API. We will work in the future about adding more data sets into this API and also importing data into the system. So, for example, if you have a sensor that you are already using and you like it and you want it to be presented on the GrowSphere platform, we will also have this. But again, I'm not stating any timeline, whether it will be in the next month or the next year, but for sure we will have it.
Great. Can you still irrigate even if you encounter issues that disrupt the functionality of GrowSphere? Question.
It's a pretty general question, but I will say, and I hope I'm answering the question. When managing the alerts and notification settings of the Max controller, you have quite a lot of flexibility. For example, if one shift or one valve is reporting no flow or overflow or uncontrolled flow, you can decide what do you want to do with it. You want to stop the entire main line and send you a push notification so you can go to the field and see what is the problem, or you can ask the controller to skip program or skip shift, because if it's a problem only in one valve, why not continue irrigating the rest of the field, and tomorrow you'll see what you have to do with the problem. Yeah, the basic answer is yes, but we have to see, and I guess you will get some of the answers next week when we have an in-depth view of the Max controller.
Good. Now the question that I can answer after the webinar: can we get the recording file? So yes, of course, we will be sending the recording of the webinar. And then we have a question: can GrowSphere monitor and control be made inside the greenhouse?
Can it monitor and control
Be in the greenhouse, inside the greenhouse?
Yeah, so a lot of sensors can work. I would say this, from everything that I presented, the only thing that is not relevant for greenhouses is the crop advisor. The way it works and the way it calculates, it is suitable today only for open fields. Other than that, everything that was presented is totally suitable for greenhouses as well.
Okay. We have a question coming in from Indonesia. Do you have a simple guide design for GrowSphere application?
We have, I hope I understand the question by guide designs. I would say this. We do have configurators that will help you understand, will help. It's mainly for our local representatives. So we can make sure that they make the best offer for you. So it's mainly for internal use. We do have a very nice knowledge center that explains many of the features inside the platform, what you can and cannot do with it, and what you can benefit from it. So the knowledge base is very wide. So
the next question is about can any device check the real-time organic carbon content in the soil?
Today we don't have a sensor for it. To the best of my knowledge, there is no commercially available sensor that can do it in field conditions and not in lab conditions. But and this also relates to the previous question. I think the beauty of Netafim is the global presence and the size. So even if you are not sure, I'm referring to the previous question, even if you're not sure what is the exact design or what is the exact product you need, or whether you have or you don't have the right sensor. This is to the second question. The FIM holds a very impressive support department dedicated to the digital farming with a global presence. We have representative all the way from India to Mexico. So whenever you pick up the phone or send an email, you will not instantly, but you will get an answer. And also, if there are new sensors out there in the market, probably Netafim will be one of the first to know. And if it is good enough to integrate it into the system, we can also promise you that if sensors are not good enough, they will not be integrated to and not be presented as a Netafim product. I know there are a lot of people wandering around there and offering different sensors. I'm sure some of them are good, but I also guess some of them are not that good. When you are using Netafim digital agronomy products, digital farming products, you can be sure that you have Netafim's back, both technologically and agronomically.
That's very reassuring. Will the NDVI technology be incorporated in all the operating systems?
Yeah, it's whether you're using only one monitoring device or you have 100 sophisticated max controllers. Even if you don't have any hardware at all, but you have an account, the NDVI is available. It is part of the crop advisor. So every time you set a new crop advisor season, you will get both the NDVI images and the irrigation recommendations.
Okay. And can the system still gather data even if our farms or portions of our farms have no signal?
So if no cellular signal at all, then the one device is not relevant. Today, the only way that the one device can connect to the world is through cellular network. Having said that, if you have a Max controller, the Max also can host radio remote units. These remote units can operate valves and also have inputs for reading sensors. So again, if you have the one, you have to have cellular coverage. But if you're using the Max, you can set up a radio network in your field. And then in those remote units, remote places of your field, you can have the sensors be connected to one of the radio remote units. It will transmit back to the Max controller. But then again, all the data is presented together in the workspace. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
Got it. Is your system stable, or is it still in testing phase?
Oh, for sure, it is not in testing phase. It's 100% commercial. We have already sold, all in all, Max and One units, more than 1,600 devices worldwide, and reminding us all that it was officially launched just over a year ago. So we are very happy with the numbers. You've seen that we have some very happy customers. For sure, it's not in the testing phase. We do all the time add new features to the system, both hardware and software. So yeah, some parts of it might be more younger than other parts, but things that are not 100% validated are not announced as commercial.
And can GrowSphere give EC recommendations according to the crop stage?
EC or no? So if you are referring to soil salinity, it is not part of our set of recommendations. What the crop advisor does offer on this front is like I've demonstrated the irrigation recommendation. For many of the crops, we also incorporated fertilizer recommendations. So for each week and each phenological stage, we will provide an NPK plus secondary and micronutrient recommendation. What is the weekly amount that should be applied? But we are not providing a specific recommendation about what should be the specific EC in your soil at every stage.
Okay. So we're coming close to the top of the hour, and there's still many more questions, which is great. So we will answer all of them offline and make sure that every question gets answered. There's one question that was asked by several people, and we'll only answer it on the next session. And that is, Avi, can you guess? What happened to your three-legged dog? So whoever wants to know the answer to that question, we'll tell it on the next session. I wanted to thank Sam for the presentation at the beginning, and Avi, thank you very much for this very insightful presentation, and thank you to everyone that attended today.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks a lot.